The motto of Elder Advisors, don't go broke in a nursing home. That holds true now more than ever. It seems that every time I talk to Larry Weiss, who's the president, he's expanding. He's added good quality people to the team, and there's a reason for that. He wants to make it easy for you during a very tough time. Okay, Larry, welcome back. Larry Weiss is here.
John Ramsey.
You know I'm a big fan there. Lindsay.
Fan. Right back to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Lindsay Fleming.
Hi, hello.
Senior VP there.
Yes, yes.
And also, I want you to do the introduction of Ryan, because this is something I'm not familiar with, and I want to understand the tie-in here.
Well, a shout out to Donna and Danny Garner up in Petticoat Junction, up in Scott County. It's just on the other side of Salem, up around off 56, next to Green Acres. Love you, John Ramsey. Back at you, the Garners. Love. But I've been working with that family literally for probably 15 years with different variables. And sometimes part of that is building, you know, when we're doing the workshops and we're talking about being able to protect assets in a crisis plan or a pre-crisis plan, we use a number of different strategies. Certainly there's a legal component, but sometimes we may utilize the tool of what we call a funeral trust to earmark money so it's there for what it needs to be. Because a lot of times people are dismissive of the old prudential policy and things like that, and if they get into a spin-down situation, they'll lose it. And so we're doing a private event tonight and tomorrow with professionals, with insurance, attorneys, accountants tomorrow, and Unity is a large part of that. So Unity Insurance is the backstop for dealing with the funeral trust. They're the big insurance company. So Ryan and Jay Hardy are coming down tonight and tomorrow, and I wanted to kind of bring Ryan to kind of give more of the behind-the-scenes look, because the people deal with us at the kitchen table. Here's the paperwork. Who's the company? It's Unity Insurance. It's up in Blue Ash, Ohio, and you know that's about it. But there's something to that, and that's what Ryan and Unity bring to the table for us.
I think it is important. Ryan Walsman, welcome in.
Thank you.
And I think people would be, if you want to save, and I'm talking literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in that senior living facility, this is a part of that.
Absolutely.
So Ryan, tell, if you would, in layman's terms, you could go over my head, but please don't. What do you do exactly?
Yeah, so I'm the Vice President of Marketing for Unity Financial Life Insurance Company based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And we're the backbone of what Larry really does. So we provide the coverage on the policies that Larry is offering to the families. We've been, Unity Financial was established in 1964. Been servicing families for over 50 years. And then in 2001, the Hardy family purchased Unity Financial, and something that sets us apart from other insurance companies is we're a family-owned and operated insurance company. So we provide the assurance and comfort for those that work with us that are providing our funeral trust life insurance products, and Larry is one of those.
Okay, so Larry, you talk about when you don't want to surround yourself with the very best. Obviously, you've vetted all these companies. Yeah. This is the one you came up with.
Absolutely, and they do a terrific job. And the great thing with the people I work with is they answer the phone when I call. They also answer the phone when the clients call. Lindsay's been burning up the phone this morning dealing with issues, but some of that often is things we need to get addressed, and if it's something that Unity's a part of, then we can pick up the phone and call Unity. And Lindsay's been on the phone all day this morning putting out little fires.
Yeah, well, Lindsay, let's talk. I mean, some folks may be new to the show and they don't realize exactly what you do. When we say don't go broke in a nursing home, first of all, that's very possible.
It is,
but it can be avoided.
It totally can. And there's a lot of strategies that we use. And when we're sitting across from folks, I usually say, you know, there's about 150,000 ways this could go wrong, and there's about one way that works for your set of circumstances. Almost always, our families can benefit from a Unity Funeral Trust. And these are wonderful gifts that as a person who is looking to spend down, looking to protect assets, can provide to their family so that they don't have, in the midst of their grief, the pain and the aggravation of trying to pull together money for a funeral service. It is a wonderful gift. You don't have to commit to any certain funeral home. You don't have to commit to any certain thing about going through and do the pre-planning. You certainly can if you want, but the product is such a beautiful tool. I would say anyone in Kentuckiana that's watching in this, that's kind of come across the idea of maybe it's time for me to start doing some pre-planning, maybe if it's just in the funeral space, to give us a call first, because there's things that we can do that really serve you in a more flexible and versatile way than maybe going to a traditional funeral home down the street.
See, I think this is perfect, and I'll tell you why, Larry, and I know you know this, but with Elder Advisors, a big part of your mission is peace of mind. You do something like this, and like you said, Lindsay, good point. It's a good gift to give because it is the gift of peace of mind. That is taken care of. Talk about that a little bit and the importance overall for Elder Advisors.
Well, we had a family come in the other day, and it was more of a pre-planning, and they had a an insurance policy that had quite a bit of cash value. And I said, well, you realize if there's actually a nursing home issue, if dad goes in a nursing home, you know, that $14,000 of cash value is very problematic. And like, well, but it's to bury dad. And I'm like, but the system doesn't care. It's got cash value because, you know, we get into the barbershop law, which is very damaging and usually wrong. But most people understand, they've heard that $2,000 threshold. You can have no more than $2,000 and qualify for benefits. Well, if they've got this old Prudential policy or any policy out there, I'm not with Prudential, it could be any company, but if it has cash value, it's problematic. And what happens is without being engaging elder advisors, they're usually deer in the headlights and they're told to cash it out. They cash out the $14,000. They lose it at the nursing home, and then mom dies a year later. And how are we going to? Yeah, how are we going to pay for mom's funeral? You know.
Yeah.
Call Greg Hahn. He doesn't have any money.
So by the way, he's coming up here. Speaking of, yeah, and you know what? That's one of the strategies. There's strategies to where you can keep the money in your pocket.
Absolutely.
And like you said, we're not trying to say senior living facilities are bad, but what they will try to do is get the money they think they deserve, and you're like, well, we think you deserve the money, right?
And that's, I mean, I think that's, but that's not their skill set.
Right.
They're required to care for your loved one.
No.
They're required to provide meaningful activities.
Good point.
They're there to provide, you know, your communication. And most of the facilities in our area are doing a great job of that. But this is extremely nuanced work. This is a craft that Larry has been creating since 1996, and it changes a little bit every day and every year. And so that's really not their job. Bless their heart. And they're not bad, and they're not trying to screw the family out of the $14,000. They just don't know because it's not their job.
Gotcha.
That's not their job. It's our job. And we can't do our job unless you call, so you got to call. You
Yeah,
gotta
call elder
us.
advisors, and we want to talk about these workshops. But first of all, okay, I've heard you brought Greg Hahn in town. I'm
Yeah.
very familiar with
Yeah.
him. He's a fantastic, nationally known comedian. He's great. So I'm assuming this is for some of your clients?
It's for the private event we're having tonight and tomorrow, and it's geared just for the professionals, accountants, attorneys, insurance related on that. But I was at a conference several years ago. A gentleman since retired doing it, and there really hasn't been in about 4 years. So I kind of look around like a lot of things. Okay, I'll do it. So we're doing our first ever tonight. We've got another one scheduled next year. But we were at this event, and I think the woman's name was Michelle Stacy. I'm sure I wasn't her right name or whatever, but I think she'd been drinking since the morning. But in any event, she was at the event, she's dozing off, and the entertainment was like an 85-year-old guy impersonating Elvis in 1936. It was terrible. It was just going nowhere. And I thought, well, if I'm going to kind of relaunch this and rebrand this, I need to kind of step it up a little bit. So for me, it's Greg Hahn.
And I feel like that was not a local event. So we love our Elvis impersonators here in the community.
Yeah, I don't know what
There's
Larry's got
lots of
against
great
Elvis.
ones. That was not a local event.
It needs to be done
Elvis
correctly.
impersonators, we love you. If you've worked
Yes.
in long-term care, you've seen your fair share.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic. It
Thank
was
you
not a
very much.
local event. No, he is not throwing shade to the local Elvis
But the guy who was 85 years
impersonators.
old should have hung it up.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, all
It's
right.
going to be a great. It's
I
going to
don't
be a
know
great
what you
time.
got against Elvis. You know, here's a guy who loved his mother.
Elvis.
He
Come
was
on, Tupelo,
fantastic.
Mississippi. I've been to Graceland.
Loved his mom.
I wanted to run up the back stairs so bad in
Yep.
the jungle room.
I have been
love
to
the King.
Graceland. We love the King. Okay, just make that clear. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right. So we're going to have Greg Hahn coming
Greg
up next.
Hahn.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will meet Greg Hahn.
The only Greg Hahn.
I know we didn't get to talk to you enough, but I do want to make sure, Ryan, you know, we appreciate what you do because it is about peace of mind. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right,
And
Ryan
you're only as good
Walsman.
as the people around you, and that's part of what Unity does for us.
That's right. Unity
Yeah.
Financial once again, and Ryan Walsman. All right. Greg Hahn is on the way, folks, so we'll have a few chuckles. Can't wait to talk to him. You may have seen him on national TV. You're going to see him here next on Wave Listens.